Hello, welcome back to Let's Play. Well, let's build the 200 subscriber special, the belated 200 subscriber special. Originally, I was planning for a full test today, but I realized I have to make some tweaks, and it's going to be a little more extensive than I thought. Not terribly long, but long enough that I don't want to add what could be an hour or two of the test on top of it. So the first thing we're going to do is go to add edit sides, go to this doctrine, and we're going to change the weapon release authorization for our tomahawks here, which we should only have to worry about these two. And basically all we're going to do is for land structure, no automatic fire, 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 and no automatic fire. So this will prevent them from using the, basically from using the tomahawks against, what? No, turn off. Why is that on? You can use it. But I just don't want automatic fire. Okay, that might have been my sloppy fix to that from earlier. Yeah. There we go. We'll change that, but we'll turn automatic fire off. Just because we don't want them auto-firing and using up all the tomahawks. Mainly because I don't trust the AI to do what I want them to do. And because we have a limited number of tomahawks, especially in comparison to modern battle groups. Most days, I think, like 2/3 of their cells are tomahawks now, because, excuse me, let's face it, we're mostly just bombing people who can't defend themselves, so... it makes sense if you're supporting innovation against a, a country like Libya or Iraq or Syria, a country that can't really defend itself from the United States and can't hit out at sea. Yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, our loadout's different because we're going up against a country that can hit us and can hit us hard, which is why our mix is mostly on the anti-air warfare side of things, which, on that note, I was reading an article today about how the first ship with the Sea-Whip Block 3 electronic warfare suite has basically just finished being installed. And I realized, I was reading through the article, I saw even the Flight 3 Berks, the first couple at least that are coming off the line, are still going to be with the legacy Sea-Whip system, which is, if we go here, we can see it's actually, I checked, and it's on all of our ships. And that is the ANSLQ-32V6. So, we are going to basically go through and delete these 4 sensors and put in the upgraded ones, which I confirmed are in the database. SLQ-32V6. There we go. So now we can filter, and this is the part that's going to take a while because it's going to be, so there, I think if we just add them as a group, it should enable us to I can just do that and kind of cheat, basically. Okay. Fortunately, I can't cheat having to click all the boxes. But adding the group should add both the ECM and ESM components. So now, if I go here, we should see... Oh, it's a sensor group. It should be fine. Can I, double click it and expand that. Okay, let's go to the database viewer and see here. ANSLQ32V7. So the group includes. Yeah, it should include both. I guess we'll try it. But yeah, you can see the ELINT goes up to early 2020s tech. Actually, they both do early 2020s tech, which is basically state of the art right now. But if you go to V6, which would have been, this would have been what they were using, they are on 2010s tech. So now what this will basically do is give our ships a hell of a lot better chance against modern weapons. And you'll see that if we go into the weapon endgames, because even just being one generation out of date can really lower the effectiveness of your electronic countermeasures. So we're going to see those maybe not skyrocket, but they're going to be a lot higher. Whereas like even against like modern day, like you see if you look at the weapon end games for like SAMs against an aircraft's built-in defense electronic countermeasures, it's only like a 10 to 20% chance to spoof the enemy war or the enemy missile. And that's generally within the same generation or one generation behind. So if we up this to current generation, we're ensuring we have at least that chance. Yeah, so this should be... Oh, Greece. Okay. Yeah. So that's basically... it's a very important upgrade for everyone, which is why we're doing it. And I think I will go with the group, so... Okay, now I gotta find the entries here. I hate how it... You know what? Let me just outsmart it. There we go. There we go. So now we'll be removing those. And SLQ32V7. There we go. So let's add in the port side and the starboard side. There we go. I honestly should go through and see if there's any more updated systems like that, but I don't think there are. I think this is honestly the biggest one out of all of them. The only real big upgrade would be if my improvised cruiser here had bigger AMDR radars, but unfortunately it just has to live with what it's got. Okay, so let's do the Tedford next. Oh good, my window stays the same size, so that will save me some headaches. Alright, and SQ32V7 group. But yeah, and this should be like, obviously I think it's simplified for the game, but I was able to see some pictures in that article for the installation of the Sea-Whip 3 versus the Sea-Whip 2, and it is massive, absolutely massive. Like, it's basically adding a bunch of, like, a big ol' ears to the superstructure of the Burke class now. So Whereas before they were just on these little platforms that jutted out a little bit, but that were pretty easy to like ignore or miss, I guess. So I expect, to me, that signals they're going to have a lot more range and power than the older systems, which, because electronic warfare, 50% of it is basically a battle of who's got the most power behind their emitters. I think it's going to be some pretty greatly increased effectiveness there. Hopefully that'll all be reflected in the game, but um, and I'm sure it is to some degree. But I guess we'll have to find out next week. So we'll do the port side install. And I believe other ships do. There are different installs too. I know, like for Sea Whip Block 2, they had like basically reduced sized installs for other ships, like ones that maybe weren't principal surface combatants, like carriers, amphibious assault ships and stuff. That way they could still have something. I don't know if we'll be doing that on any of these. Obviously, those systems aren't even necessarily made yet. Yeah, this doesn't have an AN-32. The carrier might just have an equivalent system. Yeah, so the carrier has it, so we'll replace it on the carrier too. I guess we can just do that now while it's up. But yeah, eventually, and it looks like it's got the full size suite as well, so that makes things easier for me. But I believe there are plans to develop a smaller suite for, smaller ships, like the new Constellation class frigates that will be coming online in the next few years, amphibious assault ships, where maybe, for them the threat isn't as high and they might not need all the power if the most they're going to have to deal with is some wayward Iranian missile from 60 years ago, like in the Red Sea a couple of years back. So no sense in having to put, spending all that time, money, weight, space when you don't need it all and you only need like 70% of it or something. All right, so I know this is a absolutely riveting episode, but yeah. Oh, did not quite remove that one. I should look up the ANSLQ-59 and see if that's got something new, because it looks like that serves a similar role. But see if that's got any updates lately. Almost added the wrong thing there. Alright, and the other one. Actually, we'll just look it up quickly to see how old the system is. Because a lot of these systems are actually kind of old when you go and look them up. Like, I'm sure there's probably improvements under the hood that maybe just don't, like, for whatever reason, they don't. Block 3T. Interesting. Why would they have had the Block 2 and Block 3? Was that a change I made? No, it's a default sensor platform. So the Jack Lucas Flight 3, I think this is like a intermediary. As if we go and see the 6. No, that's also on the Lucas. Interesting. Very interesting. So I guess we'll keep both since they apparently are kind of related. This should already be... Okay, this is early 2010s. So it's a little behind, but... Electronic countermeasures. They might just be different operating bands too, I guess. Maybe. What is this? HIJ. Uh, whereas this is also HIJ. I don't know. That seems redundant to me, but I don't think the game works that way in that like you get more chances, so to speak. Um, like you can't put like 20 ECM blocks on a unit and then get like 20 rolls for the missile endgame to spoof it. I think you still only get one chance, and it just kind of looks at your overall setup and either chooses the best one or makes some sort of aggregate out of it to determine the chance. Okay, although I am very tempted to delete that because it seems like it's going to be superseded um by this, but the entries we saw use both the AN SLQ 32V6 and the AN SLQ 59. So I don't know. If there's a 59V1, I would be more than happy to make that swap. Bring everything kind of in line. There. That should be the last ship that's really going to get it. Database viewer. I will check just to make sure. AN SLQ 50. Yeah, there's no like block 2 as far as I can tell. There's an AV6. Are these for the... Okay, I think the A was... Okay, yeah, the A seems to be for... Yeah, we have B for the carriers. Oh, this seems to be for larger ships in general, but there is not... Whereas A was a version for the Ticonderogas, and you can see that's 1982nd. It's not really been updated, it appears. And then this is for the LCS, so the 32C is very small. ANSLQ 34. Magnetic sweep. ANSLQ 59. It doesn't look like there's a 60, so I'll have to look this up. But it looks like a retro. Looks kind of like, I don't know. I think it's another component of it, but either way, I think we've still given our ships a big upgrade here. And I think we'll save it here, and next week we should be able to see how well everything will perform. But until then, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.